Yo, it's your boy Jeezy. We here promoting this adversity for sale, man. Shout out to AllHipHop.com for having their boys stop through. Salute.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, with DJ Thoro,
Yes.
the world famous.
Yes.
And we are here with none other than one of our favorite rappers one of our favorite MCs, none other than Jeezy the Snowman.
What up, though?
But
Yeah.
today
Yeah.
is Jay Jenkins,
Yeah.
who has just released a book, Adversity for Sale.
You gotta believe, baby.
Adversity for Sale. You gotta believe. I love
Yes,
it.
sir.
First of all, I love the title.
Yeah.
You gotta talk about what that means.
Man, that means everything, bro. It's like adversity is the real deal. It's where you learn. You know what I'm saying? It's where you grow. It's where you know, they say they never met a skilled sailor in a calm sea.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to go through it to
Bars.
continue to go through it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it's basically about. It's like, I'm going to tell you about how many times I lost before I even knew what winning was, right? And the reason why I was able to do that and continue to lose and not get discouraged was because I believed, right? And that's with anything you do. I mean, anybody you see that's successful at some point, you know, they would believe in themselves. And you got to really look at them, though, because it's like, you know, you think Barack, you know, you had to know he told somebody he was going to be the first black president.
Right.
And they probably like, yo, man.
Yeah.
And when you pull it off,
Right.
you know, everybody's happy, everybody's proud, but nobody knows all the shit you went through to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody really. By the way, if he sat down and told us, we'd all be shocked, blown away.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So instead of waiting for that, I wanted to explain in my book. It's about a lot of things that I could explain to the best of my ability without incriminating myself. And that's basically what Adversity for Sale is about.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna unpack this into a movie.
I would love that.
You jumped all into my questions.
I would love that, but in the way I would do it, it wouldn't just be about me. It'll be about everything that was going on. Because like music at that time was like, it was golden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the city was golden.
Right.
The clubs was golden. The nightlife was golden. Atlanta was just, I mean, it was a different city. Like the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it would just be about all. It's like it would be like a Paid in Full.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you watch Paid in Full, you just got to think about, you know,
Right.
like, you know, that city was lit back
It was a
then.
stage.
Right. You feel me?
It was a stage.
Yo, and the crazy thing is there's a cast of characters in the book. I mean, it's literally like that, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are mentioned in your music. So, you know, we've heard these names over and over, and now you're getting the real backstory.
Well, the ones that I could.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you're saying, well, we'll just call them such and such.
Right. I mean, you know, because I want to be respectful, you know what I'm saying? But at the same, because this is not me trying to throw nobody under the bus, get one up. It's just a story, you know what I'm saying? It was very therapeutic for me because, you know, it's like, you know, hip-hop culture, we go through so much, man. We like Marines that came back from a war. You know, we all got PSTD. We all paranoid. We all got our thing. And it's just like, for me, I was just unpacking that.
Yeah.
Writing the book. And it was just like, damn, like that did happen. Wow. And it's just sometimes when you sit back, you know, you got to really just, you know, give God the glory. Because it's just like, you know, you've been through so much. And for a day like today, for me to officially be an author, who knew I had to go through all that shit to officially be an author?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, how did you get to this point? Like, I mean, you know, when I read it, I'm like, I'm reliving certain things because I was there. I was not all of it, but I was there for the hip hop part, a lot of it. You know what I mean? And it was a crazy time. So I guess what I'm saying is, you do get to a point in life where you're like, let me look back and let me, you know, like you said, unpack.
It wasn't the smartest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to deal with a lot of it like head on. Even when I was right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Then it was just like, you know, even back then, you know, I was smoking and drinking a lot. So it was easy to put some shit in the back of your mind. Like it was easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as you know, as a grown man, it's like when you gotta face some of that stuff, it's like it's trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I never really unpack. Like I never really unpacked when Shakir died. I didn't sit with that well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I dealt with that how I dealt with anything else. And even when like a lot of the homies was dying, like I never really like I was on the move. I couldn't stop. Right? Because if I stopped, if I slowed down, that was too close to stopping. So I think now that I got a chance to sit with it, and you're right, like writing the book was one thing. Reading it for the audio book was a different thing because you're reading out loud and you got to go through the emotions of what's going on. So I did stop a few times and just was like, you know, it was hitting me. It was hitting me. And there wasn't no blunts and no drink there. You feel me? I'm not there no more. So it's just like, I don't got nothing to self-soothe and you know, and just regulate myself. So I got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And not even in a bad way. I should have dealt with it then, but I don't know how. But I got the tools now. That's what's dope. And that's why I'm even out here kicking this to the culture, because we all been through so much real shit, bro. Like my story ain't no different from yours. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, I'm just want the knowledge I've learned. I want to share that to, like, you know, you can get better. You can't figure it out. You can't go back and, you know, fix some of this stuff. And you can, you know, as a person, like, get in a space where you feel better about you. Because it's like a lot of that stuff, I feel like, you know, just on some, just being real, like I was cursed or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, why me? Like, just keep kind of, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, try me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even tripping no more because I got the tools. And that's what the book is really about, having the tools and having the understanding. And the crazy thing, what kicked it off is somebody gave me the book Think and Grow Rich, and that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who gave it to you?
One of my business guys, man, out of LA. He does like insurance. He does very well for himself. He like own a bunch of insurance companies, and you know, anybody with, you know, a couple Rolls Royces in the house in Malibu, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay, so what are you saying? He's like, yo, you should read this book. And I read it, and you know, the first time I read it, I didn't really get it, and I kept reading it, and I just started to pull things out of there, and I'm like, damn, like it's a lot of knowledge in this book, and that's what got me back into reading. And from then I just started hitting books, and I was like, yo, what if I did my own? You know what I'm saying? What if I talked about, you know, my life and put it in a book form? First thing I had to do was call my lawyers, though, you know, to make sure, like, you know, I just want to make sure I'm talking about things I'm able to talk about
within the outside of the statute.
So and so when that went through, I met Coach a couple times. I had to change a couple things, but the message and the intentions wasn't to throw nobody on the bus. It was like, how can I tell this story? Because it's fascinating. It's like where I came from, what I went through, what I stand for, how I've evolved in a game where you don't really see a lot of evolution. I'm the only person I can probably say off the top of my head that I've seen evolve in a lane like mine is Jay-Z. You know, a street guy to turn around. Because a lot, you know, some artists, like you think about Dr. Dre, you know, he's a producer, artist, but you can see him having a long career because he's a producer as well. Jay-Z doesn't produce. He's a guy that was from the streets and he makes music, and he was able to sustain his career this long, and then flip that into business. So when you see that, you're like, wow. But what makes it interesting is when you start seeing his people like Emery and all them come home, you start putting two together. You're like, oh, he really, you know what I'm saying? Okay, like I get it. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, just think about from our generation, there's nobody really like that, right? And that's why I feel I got to tell the story, because you don't really see a lot of cats from my generation really having that longevity and sustaining and keeping their credibility going to other things that they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start talking real estate, you know, everybody might not want to hear that conversation, but it's real. It is. When you 8 albums in, you better have something else going on. You feel what I'm saying? Like you better have some other businesses or something, because you know how this game go. That's a fact. You could be up today and down tomorrow. You know, and when you down, ain't nobody checking for you. You know what I'm saying?
You talk about T.I.'s words of wisdom to you at one point.
He always got words of wisdom.
Did he change the trajectory of your life with that conversation?
Yeah. Because I felt like, I'm gonna be honest, like I could have heard that from somebody else, But the fact that he was already established in everything he was, I was trying to be.
Yeah.
I listened.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a different. And T.I.'s that's my brother.
Yeah.
Like no music or not. Like we been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's been through a lot. You know. But for him to just pull me to the side and have that conversation, at the time I was ready to hear it, right? And that was the difference,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I felt the way. I was paranoid. I was going through my things, but I'm like, oh, you really think I can make it? And you really think I should not be doing this?
Yeah.
Because all I really needed was somebody to tell me I shouldn't be doing what I was doing, right? And I wanted that,
right?
Better than you know. I wanted some big homie to be like, nah, but none of the big homies was gonna tell me that,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because they was, you know, you know what I'm saying? It made sense,
of course.
And so for him to really pull me to the side and have that conversation, I just was like, damn. I think that's what made us really close too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because after that, you know, of course, my career started to take off. Yeah. And I was like, damn, he was right. Yeah. Because, you know, somebody telling you, man, you talented, you ain't got to really be out here in these streets. And you shouldn't. Because, you know, this is going to blow up for you. Yeah. Right? And, you know, I went from just being the guy in the club, hanging around them and doing my thing, to us being on tours together, us being on songs together, us hitting, you know, BET stages and American Music Award stages. So just think about that. You know, we still have real conversations to this day, because when Tip goes through things, I call him. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? That's good. Pull up. Let's talk. Yeah. You know, he talked me out of some things. I've definitely had to talk him off the ledge a few times. I bet. Definitely be like, yo, my man, you are bugging. We cannot do that. You know we famous, right? You're going to find us.
right. No, that's a fact. Yeah.
Right. Now, going back to your point of overcoming and accomplishments and adversity.
Yeah.
Even coming where you originally come from, Hawkinsville, Georgia.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people.
Population 2,300.
2,300.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of worldwide artists.
No.
In that area, other than, you ever heard of James Brown? But he's from Macon, Georgia. Yeah. James Brown.
I thought he's from. He's from Augusta.
I'm sorry.
He's from Augusta.
He's from Augusta. But in these small rural towns, you don't get a lot of artists, whether it be R&B, soul, pop. Right. It's not a lot of artists coming, especially hip hop. Right. You know, did you even foresee yourself being this big, coming from?
Well, see, this is the thing. So half of my family lived down there, because that's where my grandmother was. Okay. The rest of my family lived in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
And that's where the Atlanta connection is. My aunties, my uncle. But see, a lot of people don't know, like, I was living abroad. Okay. I was in Japan. In
military
Hawaii.
brat.
You started off the book that way.
Yeah. I was in Japan and Hawaii. Of course, I knew what the hood was, because every summer we was back. Right. But when my parents got divorced, it was like I had to go back for real.
Right.
So when I got there, you know, just imagine you being from New York City, right?
Right.
And you knowing everything about it, then somebody go put you in Nebraska somewhere.
Omaha.
You know what I'm saying? The first thing you think is, and even if you're a kid, like, how do I get back to New York? Right. And the way I want to be in New York.
Right.
So my whole goal was to get back to what I knew, because my palate was different. I ain't even trying to cap. Like, I was eating sushi and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just I knew about the beach. Like, you getting back and you telling people about the beach, niggas like, what are you talking about? I'm like, sand, palm trees, water. Niggas like, bro, you watching too much TV. Like, that don't even exist, because they don't know. This is a small town. So my instincts kicked in, and my whole thing was, how do I get back to that? Right? Because everybody I'm seeing around me either got a factory job, or they cleaning somebody's house, or they're in a watermelon field, or doing roofing, and I'm just like, yo, this is dang for me.
Right.
So, and by the way, I was a roofer for a minute.
Right. You did that, right.
I threw a few watermelons. I ain't gonna care. I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody. I ain't no disrespect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I just knew that wasn't for me. And my older cousins, they was the ones that was doing the hustling. So they, to me, seemed like the way to go. Right? So if the whole family is hustling, it doesn't seem wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're good at it. They ain't going to jail. So I don't even put that in the equation, because it looks like they just doing what they want to do anyway. Right. So as I started to get into the streets, because I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? And I tell everybody, like, the first money I made was maybe $5,000, and it probably took me a couple months.
Right.
And I bought my mom a trailer as big as this room. You know what I'm saying? And me and my mom and my sister stayed in this single wide trailer.
Wow.
Right? I paid $3,500 for the trailer.
Wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This was my house.
Yeah.
This is my home. But you gotta think, I'm used to living on beaches.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm looking at my mama like, where we going? She's like, you know, but in her mind, she's back home. She's good.
Right.
She's like, I'm back home. I'm with my family. And I'm just like, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. She's like, well, where you going? You know? And so when I went to live with my grandmother, she gave me a free range. But the thing that a lot of people have to understand is it's like, you know, it ain't about where you from, it's where you at.
Where you
right?
at.
And where you trying to go. And for me, the connection to me was the music. Because I didn't really have no older cousins that I was really like locked in with. My older cousin was getting money, but we wasn't like locked in.
Right.
Like they weren't taking me around and showing me things. And my uncles, well, you know, they had their own vices and their own shit going on. So what I was doing was I was learning through the music.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, somebody might listen to a Tupac album and feel like they want to go out and, you know, kill the world. To me, I was looking at it, pulling out the knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
Why should I care about this?
Right.
Why does he care about this? If somebody do him like that, why did he feel like that was wrong? So now I'm getting the moral compass.
Right.
And then I'm starting to be around other kids my age, but they ain't hip like I'm hip. Because I'm doing the work. I'm studying. I'm hanging around older people, just listening to conversations, watching their cars, doing whatever I could do to be in the mix, right? Because I just want to know how to be what I need to be. So when it came down to it, you know, I'm hustling now. And all the younger guys are hanging around me because I'm cool, right? But then I look like the boss because I just know more than what they know.
Right.
But I know more than what they know because I'm listening to the music for real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not just like listening to it to, you know, to say I like it. I'm like studying. I'm listening to what these guys are saying. And that's what gave me like a one-up on people because I was taking leadership skills from Tupac directly to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now I'm able to lead, you know, people my age.
Right.
And then I started to understand that, oh no, it don't stop there because the adults ain't investing in themselves like this to learn. So now I started figuring out a way to manipulate the older guys. Right? Because I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this petty hustling.
As a young man.
I don't want to do the petty hustling. So, and then I'm clean. Like I'm not tattooed up or I don't look crazy. I'm not, I don't have an image, right? I'm just a kid who's smart and I sit around people and I learn. So what I started doing is like, okay, I'm serving these people and that. Like, how do I get those guys though? Like the big guys doing what they're doing. So then I started to venture out and meet people and get my own little situations. And then now I'm thinking, how do I get this done?
Right.
So now I got to play the mind game. This is where the manipulation comes in that I've learned.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because now I get to go around these older guys and be around them. They trust me. They let me drive their cars around them doing whatever. So they trust me. So they're not second guessing anything I say or do.
Right.
Well, little Jay, you stay working. How you working? Oh, my man. You know, a few times over. Oh, word? When you going back to see him? I'm going back to see him Friday. Like, you know, give me your money. I'll see what I can do.
Right.
So I get everybody money. Shit, I got to work in my grandma's house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I go hide out for a day or two.
Yeah.
Come back, bring it to them like it's a whole nother person involved.
Right.
And this is how I'm starting to manipulate. So now I'm really seeing that I'm smarter than the guys that I got respect for. Right.
Yeah.
And that's how, you know, I just began to and I talk about that in the book. That's how I began to like build my empire with all these towns that was around this smaller town.
Right.
And then connected back to Atlanta and all that stuff. And that's how I kind of built. Not to say that that's something I'm proud of, but I'm saying I was building
it's part of your story.
Right. I was building a business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't until I when it was cooked up with some guys, I was dealing with this chick that worked at a car dealership. And actually that's how I got my first Lexus. She went in there and got it for me.
What was it, a GS?
I had a GS3, and then I had a GS3 black on 22-inch Bravos.
22 Bravos.
And then I got, and then like 6 months later, I got a white GS4.
GS4.
Yeah, on 22-inch Bravos. Came through the block, niggas was losing. Niggas was calling my phone. It's a nigga down here in the Lexus. Nigga, I'm like, come back around. It's a nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Thoro's the car guy.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Right.
I had the black GS3. And then I had the white GS4.
Right, GS4. I'm going to share a story with you real quick. I'm real cool with you. Tyrese Simmons. You know who Tyrese Simmons is, right?
Tyreek.
DJ Drama.
Oh yeah, for sure. You call him Tyreek?
Because that's how I know him.
Damn.
I've probably been knowing Drama before you. I've been knowing Drama.
For sure.
Tyreek.
If you call him Tyreek, you definitely know
he
him.
Had dread, I know the dreadlock.
I don't know that guy.
I know the dreadlock Drama.
I don't know that guy.
So, fun fact, me and Drama used to DJ a club called Yin Yangs.
Okay.
We used to DJ for $30 a night.
Wow.
We used to see you at 112 in that car.
The white joint?
White joint.
Yeah.
Before I even knew.
Wow.
See you at 112 in the parking lot.
Yep.
Parking lot pimping for real.
Parking lot pimp.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Trying to get that front parking spot in the front by
and
the door.
And the atrium, 112, all those spots. I used to see you riding around. Yeah.
You and Drama, Drama's in the book a lot, you know, particularly around the gangster grills. What's your, you guys still working?
Yeah, no, I'm actually proud of Drama, man. Yeah. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, just like, if building a brand is building your brand, he definitely switched it up.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? He got some good guys around him. Shout out to Lake and Cannon and all those guys. Nah, man, it was crazy because, me and Drama been through, we had wars. we had shootouts.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? We had all type of shit. But Drama, at the time, Coach K knew Drama and I didn't.
Right.
I just saw he was doing for Tip.
Right.
And I was just like, yo, I got to get him to do me a tape. And he wouldn't do a tape at first. Like, I believe that my brand wasn't strong enough, which I respect. But at the same time, my music wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still trying to figure it out.
Right.
So when I finally got him to do it, I'm like, yo, I'm going all in. So he did a tape. It was called, the first version was called G's Up. But then we changed it at the last minute to Streets is Watching. So I was just like, how y'all get off the tapes? And it was like, we sell them. How much y'all sell them for? It's like $5, $10. In my mind, I'm like, shit, that's worse than what I just came from. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm going back to breakdowns. That don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just bought 100,000 of them.
Right.
And I started going to this club on the east side called Primetime because it was like the most popping club on Sunday. And we just go out there every Sunday like clockwork and put them on people's windshields and pass them to people when they come out of the club because it was like the premier club. Yeah. And we would do that and go to Magic City. That's how we was doing that. So we did that for about 7-8 months. And then they called me for a show. Right? And I'm like, well, shit, because we had a number on the
CD. Were you surprised? Like,
I was surprised with the number. The nigga said $100. I'm like, shit, I can't even put gas in this Ferrari I'm driving, man. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
And then coach was like, no, you should go take the money. So I go over there, do the show. Of course, nobody was fucking with me.
Yeah.
They just called me because the number was on the phone and on the CD. So nobody really like came to see me. It was just a regular club night.
Right.
And I was just like, damn, man. So I'm telling coach and him, I'm like, I got to do another tape. And then, I kind of, got back and was doing my thug thing, trying to get my money up because I just bought all this and I'm doing that. And I was like, I'm just riding down the street one day down Peachtree and I see this shirt and it says vote or die. Right? And I'm just like, I got it. And I called my man, I said, we're going to do Trap or Die.
Right.
That was the inspiration for
that. Was the inspiration.
Wow.
And then he was like, he's like, okay, but what are you going to do different? And I said, I'm going to do a DVD. Because I did the Smack DVDs.
Okay.
Right? But I was just on like an episode. I didn't have my own.
Right.
But at the time, the DVDs was like huge. Right? So I did Trap or Die. Instead of 100,000, I pressed up 500,000.
Right.
And we gave them out all around the world, from Miami to Detroit.
Wow.
We just went everywhere. Everywhere I was, because I was on a Def Jam promo run.
Right.
So I just filled up their van. And like we go to Alabama, I just pass them out.
Yeah,
everybody pass them out. We have a club day here, just passing them out. By the time I was done with the CDs, I'm back in Atlanta, I'm back in the city. I'll be pulling up in my homeboys' trap houses and shit. And I would walk in there and they'd be watching Trap or Die DVD, and I just be so confused. I'm like, nigga, I just left y'all niggas. Like, y'all know me. Like, I didn't get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when it was starting to happen because now they're starting to believe.
Right.
And shout out to my homeboy Westside Blue. I played him Trap or Die. And he was just like, man, you got it, dog. You about to be out of here.
Yeah. Right.
And that shit just started happening. We would be in the club, like you say, 112 when they moved it across the street from Visions. And I would be in the club and people would just walk up to me and be like, yo, Jeezy, man, I love your music. And it was the weirdest shit ever because you got to think you're a street guy. You're not used to people approaching you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? About after the 8th person, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then I started to understand it was the music, right? And how I knew it was real one day I'm coming through the toll because I had a house up north. and I'm coming through the toll in my car, top drop, pulling through. And when I came through the toll, it's like a line of cars. And I just see these girls, they're blowing the horn, and they like smash the Trap or Die Trap or Die CD against the window.
Right.
And I was just like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying?
I've arrived.
And it went from that to like me going to the mall, like Lenox. I used to go to Lenox and go shop and walk around.
Right.
So I might be walking around Lenox and be people following me around. Yo, Jeezy, I'm like, what the fuck?
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just starting to happen. You know what I mean? It was happening fast. And shout out to DJ Drama, because what we put together was magic, man, because every DJ, because that's what the conversation was with Jazzy Faye and all those guys, was don't do a DJ version of the tape because nobody's going to play it. But that's exact opposite. Everybody played it in the club. With the drops with and everything. And that's what was different.
That's
you know what
rare.
I'm saying? So me and Drum kind of came up together there. Because I had the music and he had the foresight to put it together. Because this how I knew, like, he's talented. I gave him the same music that I had. And when I heard it back, it gave me goosebumps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I knew he was. I was like, okay, this is for real.
Yeah.
When he brought that shit back and you know.
Right.
You talk about being horrible in the book too.
As far as music?
Music, like absolutely. Writing a lot of horrible raps, and then
I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I love music, but it was just like, I don't know, like, I just, you know how I go. You seen Straight Outta Compton, man.
Of course.
You know damn well Eazy-E wasn't.
you find out he's punching every record.
He was punching every
1,000,000%.
Right.
1,000,000%.
You can hear it in hindsight.
1,000,000%. If you find some old Jeezy records, we got to shut this shit down.
It's legendary stories. Yeah, no, that's a fact. Yeah, nah, but tell people about the threads through the. You know, freedom seems to be one thread. You know, one theme in the book. Right. You know, seems like your desire to have the freedom to do what you wanted to do or what you envisioned for your life.
Well, freedom is being able to, you know, do what you love, right? And being able to do it at your own pace, right? And not having to and which is why I came in the game, you know, spending my own money. Because I didn't want to do what a label said.
Right.
Because my whole motto, my whole career, I go cut my own records and do all my own videos and have them reimburse me. Because I don't want them trying to tell me what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And that's one version of freedom. And the other version of freedom was just knowing what I was into and not wanting to get caught up. So it took a lot of discipline. So that's on both sides. It took a lot of discipline not to get caught up in the streets, but then it took a lot of discipline to have freedom because I was being smart with the money that I was spending.
Right.
And that's a real way to look at it. Like, you want to see it, you want to see somebody fuck up some money, give them some money.
Yeah.
Give it to them. Right. They gonna fuck it off.
Right.
It doesn't matter, but let them earn it. Right. So if I'm spending money that I earn and I know what I'm doing to earn it and I know what type of chances I'm taking to earn it, I'm gonna be very mindful and very intentional about what I'm doing.
Right.
And that gave me a sense of freedom as well, because I wasn't just out here just buying stuff to buy it. Everything I bought, I was intentional. Like, they'll tell you, shout out the exclusive Game T. Like, I had gotten into jerseys. I wouldn't buy jerseys. I would get him to make me personalized jerseys. And put my what's the name. I got to give a shout out to Spliff Star with Busta Rhymes.
Right.
I seen him at 112. I was going in one day, and he had these Air Force Ones on. This is before I seen anybody paint on their shit.
Yeah.
He had like some Bumblebee joints, and I took that and ran with it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I took that and ran with it.
I fucked with him.
Gives it up. Credit.
And I started that was my whole thing. I took the Air Force Ones and I would get T to make me a jersey to match, whatever, and then get somebody to paint the Air Force Ones. Like, I had a Heineken joints, Heineken ones. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I was running my shit. But I was using it as a marketing tool because I would have my name on the back, some corporate thugs on the front.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or with my chains, like, I didn't buy jewelry. Like, my first shit, I had Jeezy spelled in cursive, big, Then I got the snowman piece, and then if you go to the Magic City shit, it's just like I wasn't in there just spending money to spend money.
Right.
Me and Fernando, God bless his soul, had already started gelling. And he like, yo, you got to come here tonight and spend $50,000. I'm like, whatever I got to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? And I would
Right.
go in there and I would just spend this money and, you know, do what I had to do so that people could start to see who I was, because that's the only way I was getting the buzz, right? But I was very intentional about that. So while people were going and buy cars, sometimes I would have to miss out on that. Like I might didn't have the new whip that summer because I put a lot of money in, you know, in
That's
my
marketing.
It's
my
marketing.
marketing.
It's marketing before
still,
people knew what he was doing.
but I still had the big body Benz. It just wasn't a 2000. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
It might have been a 98.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I had it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's how I was working.
Right. Now, there's 4 elements of hip hop: DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, and rapping. Right. I read in the book, like your first hands-on introduction was you trying to DJ with Salt and Pepper, Planet Rock.
Yep.
You was trying to.
That's
so
crazy.
did you initially want to be a DJ at first?
Well, what it was my cousin, one of my cousins, who was you know, getting to it way before I was.
Okay.
And he lived in Atlanta.
Okay.
So when we go hang out with them in my auntie house, because they had a big ass mansion or whatever, probably the first mansion I ever seen. And when you go in the garage, they would have all the newest cars, and then he had his turntables.
Right.
And I would walk in there, and he would be mixing and all that.
Right.
And every now and then he'd be like, "You want to try?" And I was just like, "Yeah." So I'm in there trying to learn how to mix, and I fell in love with it. And when I started hustling and got a little money, I went and bought 2 turntables.
Okay.
1200s.
Right.
Yeah, I bought 1200s and started buying vinyl and set it up on my dresser at my grandma's house. And then every morning I get up, I mix a little bit.
Right.
And that's how I started.
That's how you started.
And then one of the homies was like, "Yo, we should do this production company." Imagine, this is in a town with like 2,300 people, probably 700 of them black. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we should do this production company, and I was just like, okay, cool. So we did this production company. I was like, look, we can do whatever we want to do as long as I can DJ. Right. So we do these parties, we'll get free liquor for everybody, make everybody get a ticket or whatever, you know, whatever. It wasn't really no money. But then I had these cheap ass speakers that I had a junkie steal from me, from like a little Radio Shack. And then I you know what I'm saying? Because you had to plug it with the wires. He didn't even have no plugs.
Right.
I'll set my shit up and I DJ.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I kill the party.
DJ Jeezy.
DJ
Lil J. Now, you know what's crazy? You are who you are. You could get booked to DJ.
Oh no,
right now.
I see it. Watching Shaq and Snoop. Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
It's gotta come.
You still got that?
I'm gonna talk to Naima. Y'all know what it is. We're gonna get a run next summer.
I need to carry the records or something. Let's make it happen. I'm part of this idea.
We're gonna get a run.
Ain't no records.
Get a run next summer.
Maybe the Serato.
We gotta talk to make this happen here.
Tell DJs you gotta watch out for a minute, man.
So Jeezy, I want to talk to you real quick. So when I first met you, I was working at BET and I was doing AllHipHop at the same time.
Okay.
And New York was hot back then. New York was, but then I think there was some emotions going on. And you felt like you weren't getting received.
You about to talk about the Nas incident?
Nah, but you could tell us about it.
Oh, no.
Nah, come on!
That's my man. No, that's my man. I thought that's what you was talking about.
Nah, tell us about the Nas incident. You got to tell us now.
Oh, no, man. They just, this is back when I was just getting my burn and he dropped Hip Hop Is Dead.
Oh, right.
And I went and did an interview
I remember
and they tricked me. They're like, yeah, so he said Hip Hop Is Dead.
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that.
I'm like, what y'all trying?
Was that in Philly?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, but no, that's my brother, man.
That had Killer Mike real hot. Right. Killer Mike was super hot.
About that?
No, because Killer Mike had did Rap Is Dead.
Right.
But he felt, it's a long story.
Okay.
You know what
I didn't know that. Okay, but what you talking about with
But I'm basically, it just, look, let me tell you that, because you had mentioned AllHipHop in your record one time. You said, saying Young killed hip hop, or what they saying on AllHipHop.
Young killed hip hop.
Yeah, and I was like,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to hate y'all comments, man, because you niggas be talking too much shit, though. I'm like, man, I be like, bro, because it was crazy. He can't rap. Who did this? Who did I was like,
right.
But now I see they talk about everybody like that.
Right, I'm glad you acknowledged that.
But I definitely took it personal.
Okay,
right. Oh
good.
yeah. Because
I was like, yo, you calling us out? We don't hate you. We love you.
I used to want to promote with you guys, but then when I used to see that shit, I was like, nah, I can't spend no money with them.
Right.
See,
but before you finish the question with him, he answers it. Me being in New York, a DJ, I don't never remember niggas not fucking with Jeezy music. Like,
no, it was. But what it was you got to think about it. AllHipHop was around the first time that we started paying attention to the internet.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
right.
to comments and stuff.
Okay. Right.
This is where we all going now.
Right. Okay.
And it was like, I can go on any other blog site and it's like, yo, Jeezy, but I went on AllHipHop. I was like, yo, he's trash. He's killing it out here, you know. So I just took that, and I was just, you know, because it was the biggest blog I knew, from music,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was just putting it with that to have more things to talk about,
right?
But if you ask it, I definitely take it personally.
Right, I feel you. Well, we loved you, man. I got to say this too, man. Before Thoro says something, yo, you got me through a lot, bro. Like your music is definitely like motivational, like even in my darkest periods, man. So I got to shout you out.
Honest love, bro. I received that. I received that, and just know that I received that, and you rocking with me in my darkest times, because a lot of my music was my darkest times.
Right.
So I'm just glad my darkest times was able to shed light on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because we wasn't going through this shit by ourselves. You feel
That's
me?
a fact. Yeah.
Right. I gotta say this. Gotta give him his flowers.
All right.
Every rapper is a lot of rappers struggle with this thing called identity.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You're one of those people. Before you rhyme, you have this ad-lib. We know who's about to rime before.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's it. That's it, baby. That's it.
I sound just like it, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But anyway, how did you develop that? Like, where did that come from?
That's me hyping myself. That's me hyping myself up.
Right.
That's me letting him know I'm about to give it to him.
That's legendary ad-libs, bro.
Right.
Like legendary.
And it's crazy because when I learned what ad-libs would do, I'm just like, yo, like that. If you listen to ad-libs, that's me hyping me up.
Right.
I'm my own hype man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So if I'm about to get ready to come into a verse and you hear that, you already know about it.
I put you right there with Master P. Everybody, that's like everybody got something with them when you know. Oh.
But those are the ones who last, the ones that have something special to them.
Right.
Even with rocking with P and them on the 50 years in hip hop anniversary at the BET Awards.
Right.
Like Master P is still Master P.
Yeah, it's Master P, man.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like his records are gonna always be timeless to us because we know how they made us feel.
Right.
Like the nigga down there made me want to go get a tank.
Right.
Like in real life, I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Betrayed the Rolls Royce to get me a tank. Yeah. But I love that.
I want to give a nod to trap music real quick,
right?
Because you talk about the trap in the book, and you talk about specifically what it is.
Right.
You define it.
Right.
Which for us, maybe we didn't necessarily know exactly what it meant.
Right.
Because sometimes you be like, the trap, why they call it the trap? It sounds like actually the trap, like what you shouldn't do, because
you can call it a trap. Right.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Well, it's a couple ways to look at it, but if you think about it, how we looked at it too, is almost like that's where the cheese at. You can possibly get the cheese, but then you can also get clamp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how we looked at that. And for me, it's crazy because the first time I ever heard of trap music was when I heard Tip say that. But mind you, when he was saying that, I was still in the streets.
Yeah.
So we was still calling it a trap, right?
Yeah. Right.
And for me, like when I got in the game, I got in the game based off of I didn't really like the way the story was being told because it just wasn't authentic to me, right?
Right.
And it wasn't real, and I couldn't really just relate to it all. It was too polished. It was too, just vainglorious. It was just I just didn't understand it, right? Because I'm going through real shit every day. I'm like, why they ain't talking about this? And why they ain't talking about that? Yeah. And when I started to do my music and started to get in my zone, half the battle was trying to say it in a way that I didn't incriminate myself or I wasn't dry snitching, but then how to be real as possible. Right. So I think that's what my music resonated with people differently, because it wasn't just all about the glam of it. You know, my hood was about actually being in the hood and all these things going down.
Right.
Trap or Die was about actually like really getting out here and trying to get your life together. And if you don't, you gonna fall to the wayside. So it had a message in the music, and that's what I felt like it was missing, because a lot of the stuff before sounded good, but it really wasn't no message.
Gotcha.
I didn't walk away feeling like, okay, I got a direction I need to be going.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, musically, you've done records with everybody.
Right.
Like literally top tier, bottom tier, what have you. as you sit there, is there anybody that you would like to work with? What's your dream collaboration?
Man, I would love to do a record. Tupac for sure.
Tupac
and Sade.
Would you do AI? AI Tupac?
Nah, I can't.
Okay.
Please don't.
I just wondering.
Please don't do that.
But ain't that shit crazy?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I don't know.
They got stuff in the vault.
Yeah, I mean, but I always wonder why they wouldn't. Well, I wouldn't either. But like just share a verse. I know somebody got some.
Yeah, of course.
I know Dad's got some. I've been trying to.
Dad's
got some. Yeah, he got some
stuff out there.
Yeah, he got some in the vault.
Right.
He probably got some Tupac verses that are crazy.
Definitely.
Dad, you hear me out here talking, bro.
Dad,
like, don't let nobody else. You get there before you holler at your boy, man.
I'm gonna hit up his brothers.
Yeah.
Lil Cream got
they got some. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any final words for the people? This is the new Thug Motivation right here.
Yeah, so first and foremost, me and AllHipHop done pieced it up, so we good.
Yeah, come on,
nigga. Good now, right?
We good.
It's good, ain't no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
No, I just want everybody to know the book is out. I put my heart and soul into it, and I really hope that it helps the culture. I hope it helps our people.
Yeah.
It helps the guys in the streets. I hope it helps the guys in the pen that's getting out and just trying to change, their lives. And anybody out there who's going through the struggle, I wrote this for you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who out there trying to figure this life out, I hope there's something in there that can help you.
Right.
And that's the reason why I put it together, man. And it's adversity for sale. And if you don't like to read books, check out the audio version.
Okay.
I definitely narrated it for you.
Right, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy and have you accomplished all your goals?
No, I haven't accomplished all my goals.
You haven't accomplished all your goals.
Definitely happy. I'm in a great space.
Okay.
So what's next? What's next?
I'm gonna focus on this now.
Okay.
We breaking Haiti Baby over at Def Jam. Shout out to Haiti Baby.
Okay. Man, we've been trying to get Haiti Baby since he did that freestyle.
Oh yeah, I saw that freestyle too.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Right.
I was just like, yo.
He's dope though.
No, he's dope. He's dope. He's a superstar, and that's pretty much what I'm focusing on. You see me, man. I'm out here. Real estate in it. Businesses, my water, my spirit brand Nod, my company Agency 99. I'm just, I'm really focusing on my entrepreneurship, man, because that's the way I feel like I'm gonna change and affect the most lives right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Gotcha.
Putting people in positions to be their own bosses, putting people in positions to help build these companies, because I understand that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm focusing on now. Now, after that, we'll see.
All right. Definitely, man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all for having me, my guy.
Definitely.